Hey everybody, Mac Monster here, back with Deadpool. I'm going to go over his changes. For the most part, the defense rework definitely works in your favor. A lot of buffs, a couple weird things happen. I'm not sure what's going to go on with that. The first major thing, besides the defense change, which with my Deadpool sitting at 2500 defense, 2400 defense, 35% less damage. That tends to be the medium of everybody, is about 35% less damage. They took away your pain, so there's no longer pain. You can't spend pain, there's nothing going on with pain. Don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It sounds like a bad thing. I don't think it was working the way they wanted to, so I guess it makes sense to get rid of it. We got super healing factor here. This is massive buff. It adds health when you kill an enemy, but it's even more health per second than it was. So that's a nice little buff for us. Get better fast. It heals more now. More per second. God mode, definitely buffed up. It's got a passive defense rating, which is alright. It gives you a full heal, and it has no spirit cost of powers while it's active. So that's a very, very nice little buff. Happens once every 5 minutes, or 1.5 minutes, if you die. So there's a reason to die, I think. Probably better off not dying. Another buff was to Stink Bomb. This is now doing damage twice per second. All dots have been increased in damage, so it's a very nice buff. It does more damage, more useful. Another thing I noticed was this big old stab seems to be larger than normal damage buff to it. It's doing a lot of damage. So if you're a melee Deadpool, you're going to like that. Also, you're going to like safety through stabbing, which is the new passive that they put in that increases your defense, your dodge, and your tenacity when you're attacking. The biggest thing there really isn't the defense, it's the dodge rating. Because a little is going to go a long way, and you get a lot of dodge rating off of this. Another change I noticed that was better than before is this shoot all the bullets. It's actually being treated as a dot. A cone effect dot for everything that's in the cone, and it's doing a lot of damage twice per second. It seems like it's probably better than ever before. Hard to say until we actually use it fully. And another weird change is Armor Buster. Very, very strange. You got this high listed physical damage, 825 to 893 per shot. I think they meant to say per second. And also there's a damage listed of 2% of maximum health. And I have a free points in this, and so I tried it out. So we're looking at 825 to 893 per shot, it says, and a damage of 2% of maximum health. I shoot a dummy. It does 200 damage. Not sure what's going on. We're going to come over to these red dummies. Does no damage. So I can't even try it on something that would have more health. I have a feeling the damage is actually 2% of the maximum health at this rate. And I think the damage is all the way up to, when we put it in there, it goes up to 10% of the maximum health. But it doesn't make any sense, because that means you're going to kill a boss in 10 shots? What is this? This wasn't even there yesterday on the test center, so I'm not sure. Those were all the really big changes I noticed on Deadpool. So it's just kind of strange. And Well, I'm going to go to my build iteration for him, which is just like the other builds, basically, because it seems to be the way to go. I prefer ranged Deadpool over melee Deadpool. Melee Deadpool is much more viable now, so you can definitely go that route. But we're obviously going to take some healing factor, and we're going to maximize that, because now you're getting health when enemy are killed, too. That's very interesting. And then we're going to take Get Better Fast, because that's a lot of health per second. Instead of over a duration, it's now health per second, and it's a lot more health than it was. Stink Bomb has been buffed. It does the extra damage now, too, and it applies damage twice per second as opposed to over a period of time. So that's very nice. We're going to put a point in God mode because, well, rank 1 is basically worth it, and rank 6 wouldn't be worth spending 5 points for. Body Slide by 1, we're going to put a point in just so we can have it. You put more points in, it will go down in spirit cost. But I don't really have too many spirit spenders. I feel safe with just having that at what it is. Especially with more bullets. Now this is a buff change. Actually, I forgot to write down, but this is definitely a massive buff change. Along with foot gougers. Those are more damage too. But more bullets has got a passive crit rating added to it, which is awesome, and is a spirit per second passive. I don't know anything better than that. I mean, spirit and crit, that's just, you know, sweet. That's icing on the cake for sure. And then shoot all the bullets is up to some massive damage twice per second. Definitely worth having. With more bullets, this is only like 8 spirit a second. That's awesome. A little spirit per kill, and you'll be able to spam this all day long. Armor Buster has been my go-to, and I'm going to stay with Armor Buster even though it's got some weird numbers associated to it, just so I can click it, get the points spent, and then we can try it out and see what happens. Because remember, at 3 points it was doing 200 damage. Well, let's see if that's changed at all. So I'm going to put Body Slide up here. Oh, and a 1 point spend, you might want to put 1 point spend and stop, drop, and roll. Just so, cat's going crazy behind me. Just so you have that immunity to crowd control effects. And you have the ability to switch it out. It might be more effective against some Dooms and some other bosses. There's not really any other 1-pointers. I'm just writing it down. Stuff I forgot to write down when I was doing and I missed. This Armor Buster is really throwing me for the loop. Because 1009 damage to 1168 5 times a second just sounds too good to be true. So I'm going to guess there's going to be some kind of limit to damage here. Nope. Look at that. That's a lot of damage. So now it's starting to do this kind of damage. I don't know what that 10.2% of maximum health is. Don't know. Very confusing. And they got rid of most of the confusing things, so I'm kind of surprised that there is a confusing item on there. That must have been an afterthought by somebody. And rather poor afterthought, if you ask me. So, let's look at this. Oh yeah, that's going to kill lots of trash. Doesn't cost any spirit. Look at that. I can spam this all day long. And this is obviously the boss killer. We're going to want to use this on bosses now. Here's the grenade. See what that does. Ooh, look at the size of the effect. They increased the area effect on that grenade. That's definitely a buff. Gotta write that down too. Plus AoE size. Very nice. That's massive increase. Server lag still sucks. So your ultimate isn't any good. What's going to happen here is with the new benefits here. Let's see, this passive didn't actually carry through. Oh, maybe it never changed because there was already a +6 to it. Okay, so that's being a passive. That's helping you out. That's definitely preventing some damage for you. I went with the talisman. That's still a good talisman. The defense is useless. The health is good. The plus bonus damage at close range is what's paying off. Hammer Ordnance isn't as good anymore. It's not that much damage. But without a crit chance item or anything like that, it's still going to be the best to go with. A lot of area powers on him, so Doom's medallion is a very, very nice medallion. Or Dr. Octopus's. Doom's would be alright because it would make your healing factor get better fast, last longer. But Bullseye or Dr. Octopus is really the choice for the medallion. Very little critical hit rating gets you a lot of critical hit chance. As you look here, 265 crit rating is 18% chance to crit, 19% chance to crit. That's just phenomenal. That's really what you're going to want to go for, is plus to the physical damages. Even though we get some energy damage over here, a majority of our damage is going to be physical, especially with those armor boosters. Those are pretty sweet. I can't believe they do the damage they do. And you're going to be looking for plus health. A little bit of dodge goes a long way. As you can see, I got some dodge, and that's 12.5% chance for 300 dodge. But really, you want crit. Crit's the one that pays out the most. You want a little bit of spirit on defeating enemy. Like, I got 6.1. That's going to be phenomenal. I can spam shoot all the bullets as long as I want. I'll never run out of spirit. Plus health pays out with the way defense works, because a lot of defense isn't going to pay out. It's really hard to get higher than that 35% chance. Most tanks can get to like 50% chance before they really start seeing a wicked amount of diminishing return on armor. So your health pool becomes more priority than your spirit pool or your defense itself, because you're getting a lot of defense off of a little bit of defense. You're getting a lot of damage reduction from a very little amount of defense. So scale hit points, scale crits, get some defense. The way I would say it would be hit points, defense, and crit chance prioritized, plus skills to the skills that you use. A very good priority too. You obviously get a massive amount of health per second over here, 110. That's definitely more than before. That's 6,600 health a minute, so that's awesome. Plus health when you kill an enemy is awesome. Plus more health per second on demand, 400. That's 500 health a second. I mean, that's going to get you through a lot. You definitely got buffed, Mr. Deadpool. You're going to be happy. You're even more tougher. So I hope that helped you guys. I hope you like the Kill 'Em All build. That's what I'm going to call it. And it's basically what it's going to do. It's going to kill everything it wants. And I'll talk to you guys later.